Sherman fans rejoice. We've got a brand new Easy 8 from Tamiya, and let's take a look. Alright guys, now before I get into the review of the kit, there's a few things I wanted to talk about in regards to this release. A lot of people have asked, why did they really need to release this kit when they were already reboxing the wonderful Tasca / Asuka Hobby Shermans, Easy 8, and a Firefly, because those are obviously better than anything Tamiya has ever built. Well, and I agree with that. The Tasca / Asuka detail is second to none. It's considered to be the standard in Sherman kits in the industry. I understand that. But why did they want their own Sherman? Well, number one, that movie Fury came out recently. Number two, it's not theirs. And guys, I don't know if you're aware of this. I would think you are. Tamiya is the largest model kit manufacturer in the world. They have the largest portion of the market share, and they're into many aspects of the hobby, not just plastic modeling. They're also in radio control. So they're huge, and it wasn't their kit. That's why they did this. That and the Tasca kit, as nice as it is, really wasn't their philosophy, and it didn't really fit their philosophy. And what I mean by that, and I'm digressing, is Tamiya kits are designed to be simple, or not simplistic, but simple, fit well, build a detailed model, and kind of get that. They cater to that kind of weekend builder. That's someone who wants to build a kit, paint it, and put it on the shelf in 48 hours. If they want to. Then of course they can super detail it if they choose. But that's a kind of their philosophy. Now there's obviously your trumpeter and your Mang, that are thousands of parts. That's just not who Tamiya is, and I think that's ultimately why they chose to build this version. Now let's get into the review. The box itself is a little small. Side panel having a nice left-hand side view of the tank. Of course, this is just going to be a single color scheme. Writing in Japanese, I have no idea what it says. And then the commander figure on the side. Now this is kit number 35346 in their military miniature series, 1/35 scale. The other side panel of the box has another left-hand side view and then a front and back of a slightly different scheme. Now I've already pulled the sprues out of the box. We're going to go through the sprues and the instruction sheet in detail. So the first thing we have to look at is the instruction sheet, and it is a stapled true book style. Yay, Tamiya! Thank you so much for doing that. And you have your paint call-outs. Of course, they're all going to be in Tamiya color. And, of course, that's what I mostly use now. I do use other paint, but that's my go-to paint now, probably 70-75% of the time. There's even tool call-outs. So, right away, you begin with construction of the lower hull. Most tank builds will either start with the lower hull or the running gear. Now, a few things that's interesting about this kit is the hull is in multiple pieces, and when they haven't typically done that in the past, this allows them to have some additional detail. There are some bulkheads that are going to add some rigidity. Also, I guess there's a possibility you could have a separate engine if someone makes an aftermarket accessory set for that at some point. Front glasses plate is separate. This is the typical pictograph style, really easy to follow line type drawing from Tamiya. There's some really nice detail here in these engine intakes, for example. Even that's not a photo etch part, we'll be taking a look at that. The drive sprockets are nice. They are one-piece tracks, but the link tracks or the individual link tracks on a Sherman are not necessary, provided the one-piece tracks are detailed enough, and I think they are. and we'll take a look at those as well. The suspension is really nicely designed. It's one of the things that really shines about that Tasca kit is their suspension. This is a much more simplified, easier to build version, and I think it builds up just about as nice. Not quite as nice, but just about as nice as the Tasca kit. The fenders are actually separate, and there will be no open sponsons. Yay, thank you, Tamiya. And here's all the fender supports. So, guys, there's no surprises here. You're going to like what you see with the gun barrel when we get to that part. This goes through step 31. It does come with a commander figure. Painting and marking info is really basically just the one olive drab or olive green camo scheme. Now, there is also included a separate painting and marking guide, which has a brief history of the vehicle, which is nice, and a little, layout showing you the different parts of the tank, and it labels it for you, the dimensions and so forth. This is in Japanese, German, English, and French, I think. Yeah. But this is a nice little background information sheet that also comes with the kit. Now, the first set of sprues that I want to look at and share with you guys, there's two of these, they're identical, is the running gear. And the reason why that is, there's also a little bit of discussion about this. I call this kit new. So what I have in my hand is the only bit of plastic, the only bit of sprue that comes from another kit. And let me explain. In 2011, Tamiya released the M1 Super Sherman, here in the picture. And it was an all-new toolkit. A new hull, new suspension, everything. It's a wonderful kit. I've got one in the stash as well. So this is the only bit of plastic that came from that previous kit. This comes from that kit. But guys, that kit was released in 2011. It's only 4 years old. I'm calling it new. So then that's it. Everything else that's in this box is not a rebox or a remake. It's a completely new tooling. And the detail, as you guys can see, is just, it's superb. Let me zoom in a bit for you. Bolt detail, drive sprockets look superb. This is the suspension design. The ejector pin marks that you see, of course, will not be an issue because they're going to be completely hidden. These are the fender supports that we saw in the instructions a second ago. They're very fiddly, very small. And there's two of these in the box. You get two of these running gear sprues. So, next sprue we're going to look at is the fenders. And the fenders are very nice, crisply molded. And they're very thin. If you can see the edge of this fender here, it's pretty close to being in scale. Photo etch would be better, but if you didn't want to go the photo etch route, zoom back out just for you. The engine grill texture here is also really nice. There is some really crisp, crisp is not the word to use, but there's some nice cast texture on this front glasses plate. The headlight supports look plenty thin to me. Photo etch would look a little better, but in my opinion, these are 80% as good. The figure in this kit is interesting. It's got really nice fabric detail, but they molded it in two halves, so his torso is actually a front and back, which is kind of different for Tamiya to do. The gun travel lock is also very nice. So there's that sprue. Now the next sprue we're going to look at is the hull. So this is unique for a Tamiya kit. You have a three-piece hull, the two sides and the bottom, with really nice bolt detail on the bottom of the hull. Some engine access hatches. I don't know what that's for. Maybe a transmission. There are these bulkheads that we saw in the instructions. The detail, once again, all crisp and nicely molded. Now this next sprue, this is mostly turret parts and hatches, that sort of thing, grab handles, tools on vehicle equipment. The mantlet has got really nice cast texture. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. So it's got some really super nice cast texture. The tools look good. Now, also, I think that's an important note is this gun barrel. It is a one-piece slide molded barrel, which is nice. Yay, thank you, Tamiya. The muzzle brake is in 2 halves. That's disappointing. But, you know, it's one small seam line. I can certainly deal with that. Even the hatches here have nice cast or rolled steel texture on them. They look nice. The tools look really good, too. Even the tool clamps are not that bad. Not bad at all. And there's dog hair. Why? Because we have 2 dogs. All right, so there's that sprue. Now, I do want to point out the turret is a clamshell design, so it's, you know, upper, lower in the turret. And there's even cast texture on the bottom of the turret. So the detail is excellent. Now, here's our hull. One piece, upper hull, that is. And not any rolled steel texture on the sides. There is some weld marks here along the front of this front plate. And there's some nice casting texture here where the driver and radio operator bow gunner's positions are. But very crisply molded. Looks good. Well, the last bit of hard styrene we're going to look at is the turret. This is the upper half of the turret. It's got some really nice casting texture on it, as well as casting marks from the factory. There's also cast texture on the side. Maybe could use a little more on the side. The top looks really good. You guys will have to decide, but I think it looks really nice. Now there are some polycaps. I'm sure probably for the drive sprocket, maybe the idlers. I'm not sure what all the polycaps are for. Maybe the gun elevation, so the gun can elevate. So the polycaps is provided with the kit as well. Now there is a bit of clear, which is nice. So we get the commander's cupola vision blocks are in clear plastic, and some goggles for the figure. I'm not going to pull these out, and then some headlight lenses as well. Those look nice. Very clear. I lied. There is one other little sprue. I'm not going to pull it out. This is the M2HB Browning 50 caliber machine gun. Nice looking sprue. Really crisp detail on the cooling jacket. Decal sheet. I don't think there's really any need. I mean, it's just stars. That's all that's included with the kit. I think there's 2 versions you can paint. So, very simple decal. Yes, I say decal. And here are the tracks. They are one piece. Some people are going to dislike that. Some people won't. I will say this. They are nicely detailed, as you can see there in the image. Very crisp. Guide teeth look really nice. There's a couple of these places where there's bubbles in them. Now this is this plastic is the polyethylene, which means it is model cement friendly. So you don't have to use super glue or an iron to glue these. And since you don't need any track sag, that's going to be great. And they actually fit really nicely together, just like that. Anyways, so those are the tracks. Of course, 2 of those included in the kit. Guys, that is it. So guys, that's the kit review in a nutshell of the new Tamiya M4A3E8 Sherman EZ8 from the European Theater. This kit is now readily available here in the US. And if you want an idea where to buy one, shoot me a message down in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer it for you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Tune in next time. Until then, have a great week.